Hi, my name is Karl Schumacher, and I'm one of your global outreach staff. And today I've been asked to share a devotional with you. And so I want to ask you a question. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by life circumstances? Are you wondering, will your business survive COVID-19? Will this lockdown ever end? Will your marriage last? If you're single, will you ever find a person, a spouse, that will be able to share life with you? See, these are giants. These are giants that we all face at different times in our life. And the question is, when we come against these giants, what do we do? How do we overcome these giants? And so I want to share with you from Numbers 13 and 14 how we can overcome the giants. And if you recall, God had promised back in the book of Genesis to give the nation of Israel, to give Abraham this land, and that they would become a nation, a great nation, and represent God and his interests before the world. And so when we get to Numbers, each of the tribes was supposed to choose one spy. And so the 12 tribes gathered their spies and they sent them out for 40 days to spy out the land. And sure enough, they determined that the land is exactly as God had promised. And then they were to come to give the report. And 10 of the spies said, it is exactly like God said, but there is a problem. And this problem is that the people of Anak, the giants are in the land and they're far too great and we should not go in, regardless of the fact that the land was as God had promised. But then there was Caleb and Joshua. And they said, no, 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 no. You must look at the size of your God and not the size of the giants. And our God is big enough, and he will deliver them into our hands and give us the land that he promised. And so the people had a choice to make. And unfortunately, they made the wrong choice. They trusted the 10, and they let the giants defeat them. And so they did not take the land, and as a result, they wandered for 40 years, 1 year for each day that they had spied out the land. And each of that first generation died without receiving God's promise. Only Caleb and Joshua were able to go in because they trusted God and they were willing to defeat the giant. And that's where we're all at. We're all faced with giants in our lives. And the question is, will you see the size of your God and that he's greater than any giant? And that you don't need to fear the giants, these obstacles. But by faith, you can defeat these giants. Or will you follow the voice of the 10? And will you see the size of the giants and you will feel like a little grasshopper, and that you will then not follow God and enter into his blessings or benefits that he wants for you? And so that's the question we all face. And so my encouragement to you is to look at the size of your God, not the size of your obstacles. And by faith, trust that God will take you through and deliver you from whatever that giant is that you are facing. So with those words, have a faith-filled and great day. Blessings to you. Thanks.